Hey gang, Shannon Scott with Bonaventure Cemetery Journeys here in Bonaventure Cemetery on another lovely, just sumptuous, exquisite spring day in Bonaventure. And we're here today to talk about these interesting mausoleums that you see throughout Western cemeteries and other places. And yes, they kind of remind you of, I don't know, ancient tombs where VIP people were buried. And that is basically the key to their understanding. At one time in Europe and other places, if you were of a certain wealth, and of course, stately importance, you would have paid the church to bury you in the floor of the church to show your importance, of course, your social relevance, and yes, your closeness to God. But as they ran out of room in those places, and the public began to really see that as kind of ostentatious, especially when, they enacted laws that insisted that the rich get buried in the churches. I mean, come on. There was kind of I don't want to say rebellion, but, people were very disgruntled about it. But then, in a more tasteful way, yes, the whole process translated to the family plot itself. So out here, the family would build their own little church and chapel, and often using the same masons and artisans to produce these for them. And basically fancy doors and prayer benches and church registries inside of them, oil lamps and incense burners. And yes, you might go to a well-known stained glass, window maker like Christie's, and like we see here, manufacturing this very beautiful, beautiful stained glass window. But in the end, the caretaker would have a key, and the family member would have a key. And yes, if you weren't so close to the family and were visiting from out of town, you would, stop at the caretaker's house and bring the key down here. And some of these, although you don't find a whole lot of this anymore, but they were also set up for overnight stays, depending on the distance between the cemetery and the town. So you might actually bring bedding with you and spend the night in the family vault. Depending on the road and its dangers, you may not want to risk it because of bandits. So some of these had little stoves and chimneys that came out of the rooftop, and little primitive basin sinks where you could wash up. So yeah, just imagine that, spending the night in the family mausoleum. Sounds kind of creepy to us today, but to me, I see it as very reverent and in touch with, just remembering the people that, maybe you knew and loved. And so, yeah, why not? But, again, that's a little bit about the mausoleums of cemeteries. Hope you enjoyed it.